If you've never owned an MG before, then you're missing out. It's an amazing brand with some amazing people. And whatever MG you choose to buy, get involved, become part of the community, because we're here for you and we're looking forward to meeting you.
If you ever meet an MG owner in any part of the world, they'll consider you a part of the family. That is what the brand has always been and continues to be. No other brand in the world would drive that sense of belongingness to community as MG does. At the center of this emotion is a jolly individual named Steve Haynes. His driveway boasts of only MG cars, and his family is famously known as the MG family.
Back in 2006 we bought an MG ZR for my wife. I loved it so much we thought, well, it'd be quite nice to own a two-seater sports car. So we looked for an MGF, which we got for about £900. Things developed a little bit further. We needed a family car, so the MG6 came out and we bought one of those. And we also needed a smaller car for my two sons to learn to drive in, so then we bought the MG3.
Steve's garage is home to many MG cars, ranging from the classic MGA to a modern-day MG6 sedan. He has seen the best of both worlds, the restoration and the purchasing. The family takes immense pride in having restored a couple of MGs, and the most admired one being the MG Metro, for his youngest son, Matt.
My Metro came about because I was speaking to another MG Car Club member and he said, well, I've got a car that might suit you, and then he showed me the Metro and I just fell in love with it straight away. The MG Metro is one of the rarest of the 80s cars, I guess. There was 60-something thousand of them produced. Currently there's only 80 left.
Matt's Metro was interestingly purchased off a certain general manager of the car club who was moving to Abingdon. So we bought this car and completely stripped it down to a bare shell. A lot of rust in it, a lot of work needed doing. We basically did all the mechanicals here back at home, so we rebuilt the engine and suspension, and the rest of it was sent off for welding and paint repairs, which took an awful long time to come back.
Like father, like son, Matt put in a lot of heart and soul into his car, and now it's a head-turner whenever he takes the beauty out on the road. MG Metro was produced back in the 1980s, and it received mixed reviews, as it was not a traditional two-door sports car that MG forever produced. But for Matt, it will always be his first car, which he bought and restored.
Because it's so light, you can absolutely fly with it. It feels like you're in a go-kart. The experience of driving an MG is unlike any other car.
It's a smashing little car. Everybody looks at it when it goes by. You just don't see them. We've done a few little things to it to make it a little bit better than it was originally, and you can certainly hear it coming. And Matt loves it to bits and he really enjoys driving it.
Steve and Matt enjoy working on their MGs and making sure that each bit of it functions to its optimum. In their mission is an Indian man whose love for MGs came from his first apprenticeship.
Butch was an apprentice in the 60s at Longbridge, Austin at the time, and then his career's developed and he ended up working for a local garage called Richardson's. So yeah, he's got a wealth of experience, particularly through 60s and 70s vehicles, which is fantastic for me, and he really enjoys working on them.
I used to work for an MG garage. I was their master technician. And Steve had just bought an MGF, which needed a lot of work, and I did the work for him when I was working there, and that's how we developed a friendship. And since then, I've always given Steve a hand on all his MGs.
Even though Steve's love for vintage cars knows no bounds, he has shown the world that he is a loyal MG enthusiast by buying the latest MG6 and showcasing it oh so proudly in his garage.
Yeah, well, we've got an MG6 which we bought in 2013. It's a diesel. At the time, as the second MG6 I've had, I bought a petrol, then I needed a diesel because I was doing some more miles. If you look at the way MG Motor have dealt with us owners, particularly with the MG6 and 3, they're very keen to engage with us and find out our views on the vehicles and look at how they can develop them better in the future. So that's been very positive. I think the product they offer is generally very good value for money in the market. It's not very expensive really when you look at what you get. The 6, for example, is full of leather and lots of gizmos, so it's really good value for money. Yeah, I don't know why I'm a big fan of British cars.
But what really adds to the thrill of having so many types of cars of the brand that always believes in innovation is that each car gives you a different high.
They're all very different, I think. You know, if you look at the ones we've got, it depends what you want to do. I think, you know, I've always wanted an MGB. It's very different to drive that than it is from my MG6. You know, there's no electronics in it, there's no power steering. You've got to get out and drive the thing, and it's very enjoyable. Completely different then when you get in the MGF, which is an open-top sports car. It's a little bit quicker, goes around corners a little bit better, and you know, that's got its own good points really.
MG always tends to seep into the family as a member. The car does not remain a piece of machinery. All stories are lived with it. All memories are recounted with the MGs. That's the power of the brand. That's how the entire community functions, by creating a strong bond that one will only understand when they become a part of it.